Hello, my name's Jas. This is a little intro update on my Roomba Sumo Bot here. Bought this guy from, I bought it off eBay. It was used. It was working, though I didn't really care if it didn't, as long as the wheels moved on it, or ran, I guess. And the only thing wrong with it was this here battery was actually bad, which is pretty common in these. Bought this guy for $15, the Roomba. Not the battery. Battery's free with it. But the battery, I gutted it. Took out some screws that were a little bit tricky, but I got them with a small screwdriver. And then I pulled out the batteries. They were toast. There was about 6 cells out of the sub-Cs that were bad. There's a couple more laying around. But anyways, I actually used the 18-volt battery over there, that drill battery, see finger over there, and got this guy working. Actually, I just plopped it right on top. That's what this is all about, this wire coming out of here. I soldered some tabs on it, and it went around and actually vacuumed our place for Thanksgiving. Anyways, I just kind of threw this stuff out here real quick. Really, I've actually already started, sorry, just throwing some stuff out of the way. Already started on retrofitting this guy into a sumo robot. So I just threw this up here, these shells on here, just because they, it's showing you kind of what it looked like before. This thing was actually a little bigger than I thought it was. I'd never actually seen a Roomba before, that I remember anyways. That was the front bumper piece, and then the back shell here. This is where the dirt usually went in, but I kind of gutted it out and took out the fan, and I'm going to probably put a little LCD display back there, blue to match. Then this top piece here just came away. Obviously I've already pulled this out here. So the robot here, it's got two main drive wheels, one over here, one over here. These drive wheels are actually kind of neat. They have optical encoders in them, so they have little LEDs with a phototransistor that count. I believe it's actually 768 pulses per wheel rotation, so I should be able to fairly well guess at angle, speed, whatnot. There's a lot of wobble in these wheels, but I'm not looking for perfection anyways. I'm not trying to do something ultra precise. They got some cliff sensors here for them over here, all the way around. These guys actually just shoot down infrared beam and then look for a response. So you see this black piece of paper is actually testing these sensors. And when you put the black piece, I built up a circuit over here, and to make sure my sensor's working. So when I see black, which is kind of the sumo ring around the outside, it'll actually trigger these sensors to know to back up or turn or whatnot. The bumpers still, I need to attach them, but I've gutted out a lot of this, other than the sensors I'll reuse. And then I've actually added this plate where the brushes were. This is the microcontroller board that I selected. I kind of had my bench stock that I'll use, and then some batteries. Maybe too much battery. I was just playing around with that at the time, so it's a little heavier now. This is the original board that came out of it, and I know a lot of people use these, and they kind of have these COM boards that sit in here, and they can talk to them through this serial port right here. You can make a little cable, real cheap, and then it talks to this, and they've got some programming, and some people have done stuff where they've just left all this here. They haven't done any of this dissection. All they did was go in and plug in here, and then put some electronics right on top of the Roomba, and communicate that way. I didn't want to do that, but it's just my thing. I like the hardware aspect of this all, so I just decided to do it this way. Yeah, sorry about the mess on the desk. Somebody once told me that a clean desk or a clean truck meant that somebody didn't really have much work, and I always have fun stuff going on, so I'll just go ahead and conveniently use that as an excuse today. So that's about it. Next up is I'm actually going to verify that pulse count. I just pulled that off the internet. I got an old pulse counter right here that I'm just gonna wire up my optical encoders, and I'll just sit there and put these motors on. I'll just give them a low speed so they just rotate real slow, and then actually verify that it's roughly that 768. I won't actually determine the exact number until later. I'll do some measurements then. But that's that. This is the rest of my workbench real quick. Yeah, oscilloscope, a little XP tablet for communicating anything I did. So it was originally a board I was considering using. It's actually newer, but I opted not to because most of the development area is for 2 different microcontrollers, and I didn't want to do that. And kind of my little testing platform there. So other than that, I'll have another update later on.